welcome to This Week in Pharmacy. I am your host, Todd Urey, founder of the Pharmacy Podcast Network. We are getting close to 2024. Today's theme is about helping anyone and everyone that is listening to this podcast in prepping yourself for something greater, expecting something greater to happen in 2024. And I'm going to start out with our industry. I'm going to start out with the pharmacy profession. Pharmacy profession in 2024, goodness gracious, we are going to see such transformation. It's going to accelerate with so much of the staging that has been taking place. So many organizations know that the role of the pharmacist is advancing, it's changing, it's getting deeper involved in pediatrics, in senior care, in behavioral health. And it's not about those prescriptions anymore. That's just kind of a side tool. It's dispensing is going to become a side thing. It's not going to become the primary thing of what pharmacists do. And we've seen so many pharmacists rise to leadership and changing things, not only for their own lives, which is very important, caring for yourself first, but for the people that they touch, their associates, their colleagues, their patients, even their families in the communities that they serve. I want to just give a shout out to the APHA 2024, Unleash the Power of Pharmacy. This is the theme. What an appropriate theme for a transformative year of what 2024 is going to be. And once again, it's not about surviving. It's going to be about thriving. And I'm going to be excited to be there. Pharmacy Podcast Network will be at the APHA's booth. We'll be covering Locked on Pharmacy, which is the official podcast of the APHA. We're so proud of how their podcast has come along. And if you're going, please link up with us. Come over and say hi to us. Make sure you get involved in the interviews. Get your insights out there. Build your influence. Build your impact to this profession. Do not stand on the sidelines. There's no time for that in 2024, really. Want to make an announcement? I will be a speaker at PodFest Expo on January 24th, which is a new segment of PodFest, which is called Healthcare Amplified. I've been asked to speak at Healthcare Amplified to a bunch of pharmacy, physician, nurses, providers, healthcare providers that are into content development, blogging, video, and of course, podcasting, and really talking about elevating your game. And that is, if you are a provider, if you are a pharmacist, you're podcasting, you're developing content, it's stages and levels above the common person because of the fact that you are educated, you are a professional, you have something to say. Your voice is important. The way that you express yourself and the way that you develop content is going to come across differently to the consumers than someone else that's doing it. So please remember that. Remember how important you are. Before our special guest, which, oh my goodness, it has everything to do about thriving and preparation to thrive. I can't wait for you to hear from our guest today. And if you're driving in the car, if you're jogging, if you're doing something, you're just listening, do not worry. There will be plenty of show notes to follow up on today's This Week in Pharmacy. All right, so CVS says it will change the way it's paying pharmacies. It says the drugstore chain is introducing a model that will compensate pharmacies based on how much they're paid for a drug, as well as a setup markup fee, a service fee. This is the cost plus model, which was put together and advanced and exploded in the area of Pittsburgh. That's right, my hometown area, by the one and only Dr. Kyle McCormick with Blueberry Pharmacy. And then suddenly, about 6 to 12 months later, Mark Cuban, Cost Plus Drugs, picked it up and they advanced it. And everybody in the big wig chain pharmacy shook their head and laughed it off, thinking it was no threat to them. When you see headlines from the New York Times that say CVS is going to change the way that it works with pharmacies, it tells you that there's a major shakedown coming. And there isn't any better time to be part of the shakedown than right now in preparing for this new year. I want to give a shout out to Bled Tanoe and to Shane Jerominski, who's leading the Pharmacy Guild. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is on the foot and on the the bottom of the pile of the evolution of how pharmacy is transforming. A shout out to all of our chain drugstore pharmacists out there that work with Walgreens and CVS and Rite Aid and Walmart and Kroger and Giant Eagle here in Pittsburgh. You have an opportunity to change your specific segment of pharmacy in the profession of pharmacy as a voice together, as one voice together, and that is the Pharmacy Guild. I want you to look up this organization, which is thepharmacyguild.org. Once again, that's thepharmacyguild.org. And the reason being is because it's time that we move away from the commoditization of pharmacy, and the only people that can make that happen and to bring us back to value-based care as it was always intended is you, the pharmacist, and the pharmacy technician. It's really the coming together and the supporting each other. I want everyone to take a look at the pharmacyguild.org. All right, before we get to our special guests, I want to talk to you about 2024, and that is, we know that the DIR fee apocalypse is coming. There's going to be changes in the way that DIR fees are extracted. It's going to be at the point of sale, and your cash-based businesses are more important than ever. One of the cash-based businesses that I'd like to talk about is caring for your pets. I am a huge dog person. Actually, our guest today is a huge dog person as well. And we love our animals. We treat them like our kids because they're our furry little kids. And Chewy, which is a distributor of pet products, is making gargantuans, huge boatloads of money on pet medications, which, by the way, have no tie back to insurance. This is cash based. I've heard pharmacy owners at many conferences say, well, I can't get my patients to pay for that, or I don't think I'm going to get my patients to pay for that. And that's just not true. Your patients, when they see value in things that affect their lives, they affect the lives of their children and of their friends and family, and of course of their furry little their kids, there's an opportunity. Therefore, I want you, if you are a pharmacy owner, if you're expanding your pharmacy business, I need you to look into pharmacy pet meds specifically, and even CBD for pets. We have a partnership with Cannabis Pharmacy, which has an entire line of pet meds. You can find more at cannabispharmacy.com. Once again, that's cannabispharmacy.com. And understanding that this market should be controlled more so in the communities by our community pharmacists and pharmacies. I am an advocate for cash-based businesses. We're going to be talking a lot about cash-based businesses. If you don't know Lisa Fast, Dr. Lisa Fast, the founder of TWIRx, she has programs specifically designed for community pharmacy. If you're not a community pharmacist and you're listening to this podcast, you're going to want to tune in and to listen to this this next guest in really positioning us for the new year. Everybody knows that the new year has a surge of people that are looking to become healthier. They might want to lose some weight. And then all of a sudden, February comes, March comes, and as humans, we fall back into our ways. And your mental health and the mental preparation and the planning in a new year and the new year, which is 2024, is important. And if you don't plan, then there's not going to be any changes. And I know that specifically myself and what I've gone through with my own mental health and my own physical health. It's now become back to a regimen, back to planning, back to doing something consistent over and over and over again. I don't see a lot of gains every day, but guess what? June 30th, that'll be my 52nd birthday. And I guarantee, I think I told my wife I'm going to wear a very tight, old-fashioned the way I used to when I was a swimmer. So I used to wear those little Speedos and stuff. And she says, please don't. So we'll see if that pans out. Maybe I'll take pictures, maybe not. Who knows? But I'm working on my summer body now, and I'm going to keep it going because I need to, and we all need to be more healthy. All right. Planning for 2024, thriving in 2024. It starts with you. As much as you want to help your family and your friends, as much as you want to help your patients, I know it's in your heart. It's what you are. You're a provider. You're a pharmacist. You're a technician. you're a healthcare professional, you want to help people. You can't help people when you have barriers in holding yourself back from being mentally healthy, physically healthy. I want to welcome my dear friend, one of my dearest friends in pharmacy, Dr. Christina Fontana, to This Week in Pharmacy.
Hello. Thank you so much. First of all, I feel like I got all my news for the day. I'm like, wow, I know everything I need to know in pharmacy. So thank you so much for, just showing those different clips about Chewy. And I was like, oh my God, Penny's outside right now eating her bone. Hopefully she doesn't bark because we have construction going on downstairs. My mind and my energy is so excited about everything you're sharing with just DIR fees and Chewy and all these different things. I'm like, where do we go first today? There's so many exciting things that I'm looking forward to talking with you about today. So
the reason why I'm excited that you're here, Christina, is you are literally a personal friend. If our careers evaporated, or if you struck the lottery, or if I struck the lottery and we didn't do our work anymore, I can't say that I couldn't help it. I'd have to keep working. It's just in me, just like you. But
yeah.
the thing about you that got me from the first time I met you, the first time I saw your picture in the Post Gazette on that big yellow bridge downtown Pittsburgh, is the fact that you are extremely sincere. And you and I have talked about both of us being cancer signs and water creatures, and we wear our hearts on our sleeves. And there's tendencies that we take advantage of because we want to please, we want to love, we want to connect with people. But I found that you 10 years later have transformed into this structural juggernaut, but you still have that sweetness and you still have that love about you. What has this been like? I mean, your life is literally completely different right now, but there's still that element that I remember meeting you over 10 years ago that's still there, which is that element of genuineness and of love.
Yeah, so if I can speak about my faith, I believe that is God working through me. That's my husband said that too when on our first date. He's like, you were so sweet. And like when we get into a fight, he's like, you were so sweet in the beginning. What happened? I'm like, it's still there. But in all seriousness, I give all the glory to my faith because I have been through many ups and downs in this entrepreneurial journey. And I know you would agree. It's not always easy, but my faith is my firm foundation. And I feel like with that, I'm able to overcome a lot of the barriers that I face because even at, this is year 12 I'm going into of being an entrepreneur. There are so many ways that you not only encounter different problems or challenges within your business, but also within yourself. And so that's really the work that I love doing with my clients is that transformation work to help you to see what are the blocks and barriers or blind spots that are preventing you from truly thriving as the healer in healthcare, bringing forth your gifts, your magic, your brilliance. I loved how you brought in that element of, and I love that you're speaking on this in January of empowering and elevating your voice because pharmacists are doing that now. I love the fact that pharmacists are really rising up, Bled to Know. I mean, there's so many other really powerhouse people. I could name so many off the top of my head, but we're stepping up and stepping into a new paradigm for healthcare, like what you said. And so I want anybody listening to this, don't just, I don't want you to just be like, oh yeah, like that's great and go about your day. I want you to really feel that you have gifts to share. You have a voice and every single one of us is contributing to this movement that Todd's talking about. So I want you to know that you absolutely can go into if something is drawing you to pediatrics or some of these other specialties, or if you're feeling called to help independent pharmacies, 2024 is the year to go for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so we're talking about prep for thriving. So I want you to share without giving away. I mean, there's too much to go into with how deep that you go within the courses and what you do for your clients. But let's preface a little bit of it where we talk to our listeners. Hey, listeners, we want you to thrive in 2024. We want you to do more in 2024 than you've ever done in your entire life, to stay, to what I say, leveling up, going to that next level, preparing for something bigger, and being prepared to accept it. I love, that's your words, by the way. That's not my words. You've taught me to prepare yourself to accept something great and to almost anticipate that it's already part of you. You've already received it. You're not sure exactly what it is, but you're open to it. So talk to our listeners about prepping for 2024 in order to thrive.
Yeah. So the first thing that comes to my heart is community. So surrounding yourself, being immersed in podcasts like this, plugging into communities where you feel supported, because we can't thrive by ourselves. We can't grow just like being in our, behind our computer. And so I love seeing too these little communities that are popping up within pharmacy, so that whatever you're resonating with, maybe it's my community or somebody else's, stay plugged in so that whenever some of that motivation wanes, which trust me, I get it. I have that same effect happen sometimes where I'm like, oh man, my back hurts today. My baby's leaning on my back, but I'm still showing up, So I think that having that supportive community is huge, and also trusting your gut. So again, there's so much going on, in the social media world, and there's so much that, it's like, oh, look what this person's doing. Look what that person's doing. When you tune back into yourself and plug into what is true for me, what am I being drawn to, whether it's getting a certification or volunteering, like I'm on the PPA board. I'm very humbled. Maybe you're called to serve in whatever way. So that would be the second point, is to tap into yourself, what feels good and exciting for you to put your energy into for 2024. And with that, you're going to be led to so many different opportunities. That Todd, I love how you use this concept of being open, because when we're open, that's truly when we can receive these, connections, helpful support from other people. We get to serve. And so I think all of these more internal concepts and qualities that we can start to strengthen will only help us advance in our career, and then create a domino effect within our patients, our communities. And so those would be the top two things.
You always practice what you preach. I like that. And that's why it goes back to your sincerity. You do not say things that you don't do yourself. You'd never say something that you expect someone else to just do and you haven't experimented with it. And that concept of openness, you're putting that out there in 2024 yourself with your 200 connections to other organizations and other people and other outlets. Talk to our listeners about that, because that concept in of itself brings opportunity.
Yeah.
So if you're a listener right now, what Christina has done is she has committed to 200. Oh, I'm going to let you explain it.
Yeah.
But I want our listeners to know that if they open themselves up, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a grand slam home run. It could be a first base hit or something in progressing yourself somewhere, but it's being open. So describe to us what the 200 connections is about.
Yeah, so I actually saw somebody in my local Pittsburgh community who, he had a sheet of paper and it said he impacted 100 audiences in 2023, and his goal is 200 for next year. So I was like, I was, kind of put my computer away. I was taking a walk one day, recently, and it came across my heart, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to expand my impact in 2024. And that's my goal. I didn't go for 100. I was like, let's go for 200. And it could be podcasts, it can be virtual summits, talks, whatever that might be. And I've already seen, like, Duquesne University, somebody just reached out to me and said, hey, would you want to come be a guest speaker? So I'm pregnant right now. I don't know how this is going to all happen, but that's my goal. So like you said, if I hit 189, if I hit 175, I'm swinging for the fences. But my word for 2024 is impact, because when you lead with a genuine heart, like you said in the beginning, and I heard this from a dean. You probably know all the deans. The dean at St. John's University. She's a female. I don't know her name offhand, but she said this too. She goes, if you go into anything that you do with a genuine heart of service, to with a servant heart, she goes, you will just thrive in that environment. You will excel, and it's better than going in and saying like, oh, I want this outcome. So it's truly that sense of openness. And I've already received so many, including this is number 22, I think, because I'm keeping track of everything. I just received so much support, and I'm really so grateful for it.
We're excited. I know that for myself, I get frustrated very quickly because I want things to happen so much faster than what they do. I'm into my 15th year of podcasting and of building this network, and want so much more out of it than where it's at right now. But I'm more confident today than I was 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, because I've learned to prepare and I've learned to plan. And there are a lot of people that are doing some amazing things. Some of them have side hustles. Some of our pharmacists have turned their side hustles into full-time positions and full-time entrepreneurial careers, which is, you're one of them. But if we didn't prepare, if we didn't do things in the beginning, we wouldn't be where we're at today. And I want our listeners to know, don't wait anymore. Don't wait to launch your blog or your podcast or write your book or sign up for that, speaking opportunity to speak to pharmacy students or other people in your community. You almost have to, there's a saying that's like, it's good to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that is part of the fulfillment and the joy that you're going to bring yourself, is pushing yourself to do more, and which to today's theme is to thrive. And thrive means that you are not just surviving, you're not just doing the minimum, you're excelling, you're exceeding, and that exceeding is giving you an opportunity to push it back to somebody else who desperately needs you. So when I think of the thriving consultant pharmacist, I think of those consultant pharmacists that are out there with our long-term care patients, with our children, with people with specialty disease states. When I think of our community pharmacists, I think of how much that they're doing for their communities. Every single one of you that are listening right now, take a look at what Christina has been doing. Read about her. You can go to thepharmacistcoach.com.
It's actually pharmacistcoach.com because you gave me the domain.
But I want you to look her up. Just in wrapping up, Christina, share with our listeners how they can engage with you and possibly work with you in 2024.
Yeah, so I will welcome you with open arms, no matter if you're beginning and you're like, hey, I'm curious about entrepreneurship, or you're interested in more of the transformation work. I have so many different books, courses, workshops, so many different things going on inside of my Monetize Your Magic Facebook group. So if you go to Facebook and find Monetize Your Magic, you look for my name, message me. I'm also on LinkedIn under Christina Fontana, or on Instagram at The Pharmacist Coach. And I'd be happy to chat with you, to connect with you. If I don't know the answer, I know amazing people like Todd, and I've built up a network of people who I can refer you to. So I'm happy to help out however I can.
We are so excited. Another thing, I want to give a shout out to you and your family and Eric and his amazing work. He's also an entrepreneur and has his side gig with going and becoming a food critic and helping restaurants stand out. He has a book. I've really enjoyed getting to know Eric, but your family is expanding to number 4, which we have Penny and Christina and Eric, and now we have your new little one that's showing up in March.
Yeah, Lindsay Ann, and Eric named her. He's good at naming babies. He also named his brother Craig. So He's good at that.
That's good. He's got that down. Christina, I want to wish you and your family a very, very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday time. And I can't wait to see you. And thank you so much for being on This Week in Pharmacy.
Thank you so much. And I'm sad I'm going to miss your Christmas party, but I know it's going to be amazing. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area, make sure you go.
Yes, on December 15th, if you are a Yinzer, if you are somebody in pharmacy, if you're a technician, a student, come down to the PPN studios on December 15th. We'd love to have you, 6 p.m. All right, pharmacist coach, we're out. B12 and a bunch of additives that you would know as a pharmacist better than me of how this can affect.
Go.
Yes, on December 15th, if you are a Yinzer, if you are somebody in pharmacy, if you're a technician, a student, come down to the PPN studios on December 15th. We'd love to have you, 6 p.m. All right, pharmacist coach, we're out. Okay, let's talk about our sponsor today. I'm wearing a Boost shirt. I want to give a shout out to Boost Now. This is a supplement that is infused with vitamin C and zinc and B12 and a bunch of additives that you would know as a pharmacist better than me of how this can affect you and absorb into you and your bloodstream. I want you to look up Boost Now. It's at boostnowusa.com. Should you be stocking interesting supplements like that in your community pharmacy, don't buy this until you try it yourself. Try it yourself. Figure out what you like. I like this organization. I like the people. We are about to welcome on Dr. Hussein. He'll be here in just a second. But once again, Boost Now. And we thank you for listening to This Week in Pharmacy. Stay tuned. Excited about being able to extend stories. You know, we're storytellers, podcasters. That's what you are. You're storytellers. And when I get new hosts that I can start to support, I get to know. I have known Dr. H for over a year now, and he's been a vital part of the expansion of this network because we constantly talk about all the time the role of the pharmacist expanding, and sports pharmacy specifically is it's going to catch fire more so. It's going to impact our community pharmacies' involvement in their high schools, in their if you're a college town, you should be involved in the school. I'm so excited to have you back, Dr. H. How are you?
What's up, dude? How you doing?
Doing great. We just got done talking to Christina Fontana, Dr. Fontana, and she was just a bolt of lightning. And
that's awesome.
We're excited to have you. You're a surprise guest because we want to surprise our sponsor today because we appreciate them so much. This is kind of like a bonus for you. And this is, you know, talking about Boost Now and talking about it from a perspective of pharmacy ownership and what this could be as a brand that you could really drive some interesting healthcare days, for example, or you have some type of event that you can feature it. But it's a really interesting product. I've been taking it, by the way, since we've been given a really nice sample from Jason and the team. A shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for giving us a super nice kit. I'm wearing today's t-shirt.
Should have worn my shirt, man. I forgot.
I know you dropped the ball, but whatever. Can't rely on pharmacists unless they're backed up. Oh, there you go. At least you have something sportsy on. But talk to us about what's going on in your world, as well as a Boost Now from a pharmacy owner's perspective too.
I cannot keep it on my shelf, man. It's flying off the shelf because it's that time of year, man. Like, you know, it's that time where everybody's getting sick. Their people around them are getting sick. I sent some to my parents. I keep it right here in my office. Yeah, right next to me. Just when you need that little boost, it's got really good ingredients in there. The Epicor was the one that fascinated me the most, and I'm sure you heard it during
on the shelf.
Oh, there you go. I see it. Nice. Yeah, looking good. You got a bunch of cool stuff up there, man. Epicor is a probiotic that I think a lot of people should know more about. And when Jason was on my podcast, we really drilled deep into the benefits behind it, how it hoops your immune system, and it's all starts a lot with gut health and making sure that you have a healthy gut that will help just everything with your energy. It'll help with your immune system. It's going to help with just your neurotransmitters being fired the correct way, man. That vasovagal nerve that attaches the brain to the stomach is so important. So yeah, the fact that Boost now can put it in their immune booster is awesome for me, man. Everything that's in there, I definitely approve of, and it tastes good too, which I was pretty surprised by.
Yeah, I like the mix. I put it in my. I did a shake one time, which was really interesting. It tasted great. I put a whole bunch of ice in, and I put a little bit of almond milk, and I put a whole bunch of that powder in, and I put some protein powder in, and actually made myself like a orangey flavor
There you go.
protein shake.
There you go. Yeah, it'll taste like, I think if you mix it with vanilla protein, it makes like almost like an orange creamsicle, which I love. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So I just want to give them a shout out. I appreciate the support to the Pharmacy Podcast Network as well as to Sports Pharmacy Podcast. We have some special things happening. I want to talk with you about, and I'm going to let our listeners listen into a strategy session between Dr. H and the Podfather, the RX Podfather, and that is I want to empower you to do more to build influence and build programs for our community pharmacies to dig into their school systems and to dig into nutrition presentations, or dig into being a representation of the community's health, and how if you have a pharmacist, a community pharmacist involved in your sports programs with a little bit of oversight, brought to you by that community pharmacy, you're going to do better. You're going to keep your kids healthier. And then I want to see that extend to these college towns that we have community pharmacies. I think of my Jelani Stafford, my godson, who got Defensive Player of the Year.
He sure did.
And so shout out to number 97, UConn Huskies. He imagine if with the School of Pharmacy right there, the UConn School of Pharmacy, this is a shout out to you guys. Think about this. You basically start assisting in, are any of your players on medications? Are anyone suffering with something like pain that we can do some topicals? Or is there anything? I mean, we could go on and on and on, but do you not see like a whole program of how business could be built between community pharmacies and their schools or their colleges?
So let's talk about. I haven't told you about this yet. My meeting that I had with one of the athletic directors for the ISD up here in near Frisco. It was a pretty simple conversation. Hi, I'm Dr. H, Dr. Hamouche. I own Stonebriar Pharmacy here down the street, and I want to help your athletes. That's all. I want to help your athletes the best that I can. Be it if they have questions about supplementation, if they have questions about what things are safe and what's not safe. It's high school students are growing and they need recovery the most. And so when I told them my plan for recovery specifically for high school athletes, they wanted to enroll in my program where they get the supplements from Stonebriar Pharmacy and not anywhere else. And so opening that door and just say, hey, I'm here to help you, took it to nowhere I could even imagine. So now that was with the first ISD. I have a meeting next week with the other ISD here in Frisco to talk about the exact same thing. That's easy revenue, easy supplementation for anything that you're doing in your pharmacy. And all I did was just be a business owner. That's all I really did. And it's just opening that conversation and making yourself available was the biggest thing that I could do. And we've already sold some protein kits that we made here in our pharmacy to some of their athletes over there.
I want to talk more about this. I want to dig into some strategies. I want any pharmacy owner that's listening in right now, if you want to be part of conversations to build concepts of what we can do and spread like what's the opposite of a disease? A good virus? I guess.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And that is, if we have pharmacists showing up to high schools and to colleges talking about medication usage, creatine, marijuana, cannabis. I mean, CBD, painkillers, opioids, like demystifying this for your high school students, demystifying it for your college students as sources of education. Get some seminars put together. Get the kids, down at they're not kids anymore, but they are to us.
They're bigger than I am, man.
Listening to the pharmacist. I think of sexual health. I think of a female pharmacist who knows her crap, like Dr. Nadia Archambault, who's the Sex PharmD on the Pharmacy Podcast Network. All of a sudden, she goes to a high school and has a group of girls and guys, for that matter, just doing question after question of a refresher. Because think about this: when we all learned about sex from a scholastic perspective or school perspective, wasn't it like 7th, 8th, 9th grade, right? Okay, you can't tell me jettison almost 10 years ahead from that point in time in your life. You're not ready for a refresher with somebody who is a professional, who knows exactly it's not giddy anymore. It's now biology, it's science. And you get to hear this as an athlete from a pharmacist who knows how medications are going to affect me, how my period is going to affect me better, in the scheme of how medication could help to whatever, cramping, like whatever. I mean, there is so much marketing, and we're in the day and age that now people are paying for things. People are paying for programs, cash-based business, because that's what we're returning to when it comes to community pharmacy, is the expansion of those cash-based businesses. But as a pharmacy owner, kind of exercise where you see it can go. And basically you're practicing what you're preaching.
Todd, to be honest with you, man, there's no reason why supplementation and these programs aren't at least 30 to 35% of your annual revenue. There's no reason. It's something that people are looking for. People are asking for ways to boost your immune system. People are asking for ways. Would you really want them to go to CVS and grab CVS brand's vitamin C tablet? No, like that's not going to be good enough. We don't know their efficacy, and we want them to come to us because we are the experts. We have time to be part of the community. Bless those CVS people, man. They're busy as hell, and I'm sure Shane will love to talk about this more. But we have to be the staples in the community because we are classified as community pharmacists.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. All right. Well, a shout out to Boost. If you want to learn more, please go to boostnowusa.com. That's boostnowusa.com. What are we talking about next? Because we got to have you back. I'd actually like to dig in and really like to invite a superintendent, a director of athletics, Jim Mora from UConn Husky. Yeah. Maybe we could get Jim Mora to come on.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I'm working on some cool people to come on, and a lot of big things are coming, especially in 2024 from our podcast, man. It's gonna be really exciting about it.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you as always. Wishing you a super duper happy holidays and happy Hanukkah today. This is the first day of Hanukkah.
First day, yes, sir.
And we got 7. I always hear Adam Sandler's voice in my head. 8 crazy nights. And I'm just I just want to hear him say that over and over again.
Sounds good, Todd. Appreciate you, man.
We'll talk to you soon. All right. We are excited about the future. As you can tell, 2024 is going to be a great year. Please reach out to us if there's anything Pharmacy Podcast Network can do for you, through you, introducing you to organizations or people. We know so many people, but I want to wish you a wonderful holiday. If you're not tuning in next week because of the holiday, we will be pushing out content for This Week in Pharmacy next week, but we're getting close to the holidays. I know that's extra stress. Peace to you. I hope you all have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.